I'd like to call this meeting in order. We do have a few absent board members, but we have enough for a consent agenda, so we'll go ahead and start. In honor of 9/11, let's go ahead and stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Jeremy will start us out.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to take a minute and look over the agenda, and someone want to make a motion to adopt the agenda as is?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda as is.
Is there a second?
All second.
All in favor? Okay, motion is carried. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with some commendations. Can we start with the elementary today? Okay, I guess we'll start with the middle school.
You want to come up?
Are
Okay.
your students here?
Mine is.
Okay.
I only have one. She's spectacular.
Okay.
Can I get Natalia Celedonio Pascasio to please come up? Medal. You have to wear it in school. Everybody gets a medal for being smart. Outstanding. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and say some nice things about her. This one I actually had Mr. Hunter write for her. It's a pleasure to have Natalia in class. She has a great attitude and always gets her work turned in on time. That's all she told me to write. She just says, cute. Miss Simpson said that she's been helping out in the library. Natalia is a wonderful help to have in the library. She's a hard worker and comes in with a positive attitude and a great smile. There's a lot to learn and do in the library, so her willingness to help with all those tasks is great to see in a student. Congratulations. This is really a long one by Mr. Carlton, but I'll read it because it kind of shows how smart she is. Natalia Celedonio is a student who walks into your class and has a bright personality about them. Natalia is not a student who shies away from a challenge. She's typically a quiet leader when others look to help make decisions. I've watched her in the last few weeks seeking knowledge and wanting to accomplish her best. Recently, we had a STEM activity where a gummy worm was stranded on top of a cup, and the students had to determine the best possible way to get a life jacket and a gummy saver on the worm's head using only paper clips. Many of the students thought this was going to be an easy task. Natalia was most likely one of those students. As the challenge progressed, you could see her determination to accomplish the task. Time and time again, she started over to accomplish the task, and realizing failure is not an option. Natalia knows failure is not an option, continues to strive and do her best and ask questions when needed. She also realizes determination and grit is what is necessary to finish a task. Not all tasks are going to be easy in life. Some days I wish I had more Natalias in my class. Keep up the good work. And then Mr. Hartley said, it's been an honor having her in class. She's always arrived at class with positive attitude, willingness to learn. She's a great example for fellow classmates in and out of the classroom, has a willingness to learn. She may not be the most talkative person in class, but she's always going the extra mile and pushing herself academically. Her peers see her as a positive example that motivates them to work harder in their own studies. She's a great example of what it means to be a bulldog. Whatever it may be, Natalia always puts her best effort. She always has a smile on her face, and it's a pleasure to have in the classroom. It's an honor to nominate her for Student of the Month in this middle school, and I agree. Congratulations.
Mr. Jackson, do you have the high school?
Mr. Bakerson.
Mr. Biggs.
All right. Let's see here. Matthew, can you come up? This is Matthew Menchaca. All right, get your little medal too. Here you go. And your certificate. So Matthew's awesome. So when I got to tell him that he was a student of the month, I mean, his smile just lit up the world. He's like, really? Really? He couldn't believe it. And it's just, I mean, past 3 weeks, there's been some up and downs, but that makes it all worth it. And so this is what his teacher said. She said, Matthew has been a rock star in our new little alternative classroom. He has embodied the true spirit of his individualized, self-paced model for credit recovery, and he is quickly walking down this new path towards high school graduation. Matthew has been an example of stick-with-it, adjusted mindset, and focus that it will take for he and his fellow classmates to continue to be successful in our room. Keep it up, Matthew. I'm proud of you. That was from Mrs. Cleaver. So he is showing us how it needs to be done in that alt school, and he's awesome. And so thank you, Matthew. And let's give him one more round of applause.
Thank you. I was just waiting for one of our families. So thank you.
So our second kindergarten through second grade nomination is Rocio. Rocio, come forward.
I had the privilege of substituting in Rocio's class and getting to know her much better. And this is something that her teachers say about her. Rocio is a very focused learner. You can tell she loves school and learning by the eagerness she shows when beginning a new task, her excitement when participating in the classroom activities, and how proud she is of the work she has done. She is very social and loves to interact with her peers, and they enjoy having her as a friend. She is always being safe, respectful, and responsible, and is a joy to have in class, Miss Amanda. Rocio is another teacher says Rocio is a very smart and enthusiastic girl. She is always smiling and ready to participate in any classroom activity. Rocio is friendly to everyone and loves interacting with everyone around her. She is a master at coloring and a rock star dancer. She brightens my day with her contagious smile. I love hearing her talk and laugh with her friends. Rocio is an amazing student and she will do amazing things. Rocio is always giving 110% in class. She accepts help from her peers and is always being safe, responsible, and respectful. And so we would like to congratulate Rocio on your award. Good job. Our second student, he's not here. We'll celebrate him next month. It's Jonah Moody for our 3rd through 5th grade. Yeah.
So then I'm going to have Cheryl Esplin come up. Cheryl is our staff member of the month. And this is why she is our staff member of the month. She's put in a lot of her own time and energy to help the staff learn the new MAP growth tool. She's helped to update and revamp our reading intervention and support program. And she is always doing research on the science of reading and making sure that she is giving students and staff the most current support that they need. So we'd like to say thank you for that. And then the other reason why we supported her, I said, there are many things that I could say are the reasons why you deserve staff member of the month, but I'll limit them to the following. Number 5, you support our students and staff when needed. Number 4, you have put in so much time into our reading program this year. Number 3, you have stepped up, sometimes at the last minute, to do things like sit in on interviews, let me borrow an IA, and so much more. Number 2, your positive attitude and the smile make our school an amazing place to work. And number 1, you are a valuable part of our team, and we would not be as successful as we are without you. Congratulations.
And our parent of the month, Miss Blaser. Would you come up, Miss Blaser? We have something for you also. So Mrs. Ruth Blaser has been
very instrumental with our parent-teacher organization and volunteering at the school. She is dedicating a lot of extra energy and time to make sure that our kids have those little extras that make Nissa Elementary very successful. And so we thank you. We appreciate your time, dedication, and support of our students and the staff and the volunteers. Thank you so much.
If those of you who got an award tonight want to step out in the hall, they'll take your picture for the school newspaper.
Hey, good job, man. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Jackman and Mrs. Burgess, were you going to introduce the student body officers?
They've got it all covered.
Alrighty,
They're ready to roll.
Hi, I'm Junior Class President Destiny Vander. This is ASB President Henry Draper and ASB Secretary Katie Korn. Our ASB Vice President is Spencer Romans. Our ASB Treasurer is Eduardo Turner. Our Senior Class President is Belle Wagstaff. Sophomore Class President candidates include Kira Briner and Ashton Monk. And our Freshman Class President candidates include Lorian Bound and Jessica Williams.
Hi, I'm Katie Korn. I'm the ASB Secretary at Nissa High School, and we're wanting to have representatives of the student body officer team at all the school board meetings to inform you of the goings-on at Nissa High School and anything involving achievements, sporting events, and in general how our students are doing and if they have any concerns. So we have a busy week for sports this week. Cross country has had 4 meets in Vail, New Plymouth, Middleton, and Casper Creek Union, and they have our home meet on Wednesday. Volleyball has had 7 non-league games with 2 wins and 5 losses. Girls soccer has had 2 league games against McLaughlin, lost 5-9, and Grant Unions lost 6 wins. That was supposed to be a win. Boys soccer has had 3 non-league games, all wins, with 1 league game, and that one was a loss, unfortunately. Football has had 2 non-league games against New Plymouth and Rainier, both losses, but we did score 12 points against Rainier. And this week, volleyball has a home game against Vail on Thursday, and Mr. Jackman has asked that for the student section, we fill the gym. So we're very excited for that.
Okay, so I'm Amber Draper, the ASB president for this year. So one of the biggest events that's coming up is Homecoming Week, and this is going to be from October 2nd to October 7th, which October 7th will be the dance. And it's going to be a really fun week, and we love support from the Nissa community attending a bunch of our activities. So some of these activities include Powder Puff Tournament, which is where all of the girls get to go out on the football field and pretend to be football players for a night. And we're not sure on the date of this currently, but we will be planning that tomorrow in our student council meeting. And that's something that the whole town can come to. And one of our ideas is to do a teacher bubble ball bash before that, so that we can see some of our teachers go at it in a bubble ball tournament. So that's something we're looking at right now. And the seniors and freshmen will be teamed up on that, and the sophomores and juniors, which the seniors are gonna win, just so you know. And then, that most likely will be Thursday. And then macho volleyball is when all of our boys get to pretend to be volleyball players, and that's gonna be something during school, so that's something the community cannot attend. But it'll be following a really fun pep assembly, and that's when all of the grades are versus each other, and we're looking to do a reward for whatever teams win these events. And I've talked to Mr. Carlton, and he positively said we could reward ice cream or cotton candy or one of the culinary things that we have. And then our biggest event is the coronation and the parade, which the parade is like one of the most fun things, and I've always loved it. And this is gonna be super fun. The whole town can attend, and we're really trying to get that out there. We're gonna try, so each grade will have a float, and we're gonna determine the theme tomorrow, and then we'll get that out. We're looking at a couple of themes such as Under the Sea,
Fall festival.
Fall festival. So we're looking at a couple of pretty fun things, but my goal is to make all of the floats super good. Through like my freshman and senior year, they've been getting better. Last year we had water on our float, which that was super fun for some of the kids. So we're gonna try to go pretty all out for the parade, which that's why some of the class presidents.
You reminded me about the water.
Yeah.
We owe you.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was the sophomores, not the seniors. Just kidding. And the parade, do we know what date that's gonna be yet?
So normally the parade's on Friday, but with the 4-day week, probably
Yeah,
Thursday.
it'll probably be Thursday. We're thinking. But yeah, and then that week we also have a lot of sporting events that are home, which is why we chose that. So JV football starts us off on Monday with home versus Umatilla at 4 p.m. And then boys and girls soccer will play a league game against Four Rivers on October 5th, starting at 4. And then football, which is a really big event, which that's when we'll do our homecoming princes and princesses, and then do all that fun stuff. And that's going to be Friday, October 6th, 7 p.m. against Umatilla. So hopefully we win that one. And then volleyball will be also on Friday before the football game, starting at 4 p.m. and then varsity at 6 p.m. And I've heard that's their senior night, but they might get that changed. So that's what we have going on. And then FFA has also started a couple of competitions, and they're going to Haunted World in October, the last week of October, I believe so. And then I'm not sure about Key Club, and then I think that's all of our all of our club events. So that's what we have for till the next board meeting. Thank you. Yep, thank you for your time.
Now we'll have Mr. Hawkins do our superintendent's report.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it. First, I'd like to say thank you for inviting me up here so that you guys no, there's a lot in my superintendent's report, just a lot going on in the first week of school and where we're at. And first, I'd like to start with the sale of our property on 4th. It was a Ewing estate. That has been fully executed, and so after realtor costs and title fees, approximately about $39,000 will go into that athletic fund per the will, whatever you call it. Anyway, the will. And so that has been fully executed and completed. And so what I ask is that we put together a committee to see how those funds will be spent. And again, it does have to go towards athletics. So I'm going to invite Mr. Murray up really quick to give us a quick update on the Migrant Consortium with 1C. And he went to Salem last week with Mr. Grotting and met with OMASC and ODE both. And so I'd like to invite him up just to give a quick update on our 1C Consortium.
So as you know, there was initially a consortium that NISA was part of. In fact, NISA was the lead in the consortium with Adrian Vale and NISA as the three school districts, NISA running that consortium. Most recently, ODE recommended that Mount Airy ESD become a consortium lead because of what has occurred over the past years. And initially the ESD agreed to do that, but then decided not to after some time, just a few days into that. And so Mr. Grotting and I met with ODE representatives last week to discuss now what would be the way forward, given that these incidents have occurred previously. And so we talked about some steps that we could possibly take as a school district to go forward independently, apart from the consortium, and re-lead basically the migrant program. And so we're working out those steps and the details now with ODE.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate it. Also, so the end of August, Morgan Allen, he works for the OSBA, he kind of shared an economic outlook, kind of looking long-term for the state of Oregon. Right now, it's actually things are looking really, really good. We actually have more revenue than ever. Inflation has really slowed. There's actually the largest kicker that has ever come back in the state of Oregon. So they're looking at $5.6 billion, which equates to about $2,100 per person. And if you guys don't know, right, they set the budget, anything over that, they give back. It's called the kicker. So, I mean, things are looking good economically. However, they also mentioned the fertility rates of Oregon is we're actually the 5th lowest in the nation. And so right now our deaths are outpacing our births. And so the 0 to 4, right, where those are our next kiddos coming in, it's actually looking down by 10%. but you gotta think about what does that mean for schools and planning in the future, and that's gonna be something, so we have to really look at. And so when I go over attendance or looking at our student enrollment and those things, I mean, that's something we gotta be aware of. And so just looking at the future economic impact of that, which rolls into our next part is enrollment. So attached here are the enrollment numbers. And as you can see, this is, I'll just make it really quick and brief on it, is that our inter-district transfers, we actually have 45 coming in, 36 going out, and I'm sorry, yes, 45 coming in, 36 going out, and so we do have a difference up there. And then last year we had 103 coming in, 71 out, and so we're still actually +4 on that. On the bottom, you'll see what I really wanted to highlight is the what our enrollment looks like this year. So the elementary last year was at 545. We're actually down 37 students at 508. The middle school was at 290. We're actually down 20 students at 270, and the high school was at 355, and they're now down to 354, which is -1 student. Our virtual academy at this time last year was at 145. Currently, we sit at 368, so which is +223 students.
Is that just my time? That's
just my time, yes. As you can see, there is down enrollment in all our brick and mortar buildings. So, moving on, upcoming events. One commitment we made was to engage our parents and community more. And so here's some events, not only that some of our students are going to see, but that we're offering to our parents coming up. So on tomorrow, Rich Wisnowski is going to come and he's going to do a social media safety, and he's going to talk to parents about, kind of the, what's out there, the kind of the predatory things, all those things we need to kind of look out for as parents and community members. So it's a free event. We invite all community members, parents to please come. It's actually some really, really, really cool things. And then on the 14th, Corey Greenwood will be here, first with the elementary and then the middle school and high school. And Corey Greenwood is September Suicide Awareness Month, and then you'll see that in the counseling newsletter. But he's going to talk to our elementary about really like valuing community and yourself and how to help people, and really that's the stance he's going to take, is taking care of each other. And middle school and high school is going to be a little different, obviously geared towards more of the older kids, but talking about that and talking about how to have that network of people to take care of, but also being one to take care of other people and how to get help. And so that will be coming up this week. Also on the September 21st at 6 p.m. in the auditorium as well. This is another parent event, and like I said, we invite all parents to this. They're going to talk about human trafficking and efforts of our police department and bureau and things like that, and how prevalent it is in our society, and we need to actually pay attention to it. And on the 26th, we have Bryce Ellsworth coming, and he's actually going to talk about the fentanyl epidemic in our communities and what we can do to help protect our kiddos. And so that is just September, but we have a lot of things slotted for our parents to re-engage back in our schools. And we look forward to anything like the board would have to say, can we bring something like this? And fentanyl was a big one we wanted to bring in, but really to engage our community. And so what I'd like to do is invite every building up to give just a short, brief kind of update on their buildings. First month of school, things have been going really, really well. And so, Mr. Pratt, would you like to come up and start with the elementary, sir? Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, the elementary school getting started, and thank you for the huge welcome. This community has been great with our new administrative staff of Tricia Book and myself. But we are positive behavior intervention supports is one area that we are focusing on. Instilling in our kids an additional setting of character traits, using character counts, information that helps us to identify each month a character trait that we'd like to focus on as a school and be able to reinstill with our kids. So this month is respect. The other is focusing on our attendance, focusing on those attendance rates. Obviously, with the drop of enrollment, attendance becomes even more critical. So we are trying to continue to involve our kids in as many activities as we possibly can, keep them engaged in the classroom, happy to be at school, and working and striving towards success. So those kind of things, instilling that culture, that positive learning environment in the entire school to try to keep kids wanting to be at school. The last thing that we'd like to focus on, and I just got to check my notes, is our once a month, again, reaching out to our community and bullpup talks. And this is something that I've done with many families, and it's an open opportunity for parents to come and have an opportunity to talk with Ms. Book and I. And we come with maybe an agenda item, but the other items we want to hear from the input of our parents and including them in their child's education of what's happening at Nissa Elementary and what we can do to better serve their kids. They're entrusting us with that, and we want to be able to do that. So those are some outreach things that we hope will help benefit our community and our schools.
And this morning I was honored to be down in elementary, and Mr. Pratt, because he said he invited us because because today's Patriots Day is to come down and maybe do something special for the elementary. I didn't know. He pulls out a trumpet and plays taps today, and it was amazing. And it's posted online on our news feed. Please see it. But just it's those special moments and those things. And so I just want to tell my elementary team, thank you for all you guys are doing this month with kids and all that. It's just it means a lot down there. So thank you. I appreciate it. So, Mr. Cleaver.
Sure. We got a little bit of handout because I know we get to vote. You sit on like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So if I don't get to all of it, it's not that I did it. No, sometimes get lost. Big deal, obviously, like for us is moving forward is our math adoption at the middle school. To be honest, it's a big thing. Is the building, it creates a lot of work for our staff and a lot of work for the kids as they transition to a new program and learning a new system. So it's been one of our areas of major focus in the last couple of weeks, making sure that we get the programming online. Our tech department's helped us a lot with that. As we transition, we added a program called Math 180. If you're familiar with the Read 180 program, it's through the Scholastic group. And so it's supposed to help us identify students and give them math intervention at their actual grade level. People don't understand our math progression. Our math progression has been Math 1, Math 2, Math 3, Algebra 1, and then now it's Geometry, Data, Science. And so this is kind of a fill-in, like an intervention to pick up our struggling math students. And so instead of just moving them forward and promoting them forward, we're trying to put them in more groupings that are based upon their current level of skills, and then trying to pick up grade level skills. Hopefully that program over time will allow them to get back towards grade level. And so currently we're targeting kids that are below the 4th grade level to try to make that happen. So that's one thing we're doing. The other deal that we did that's kind of interesting and new is we did a universal academic support 8th period with the change to a 4-day week. And that our athletics generally start at 4:15 throughout our league. In order to travel to most of our sporting events, we leave approximately 2:20. So we were going to miss a lot of school. So we did an academic support class. A lot of our kids already had them built in during the day. We just moved them to the 8th period. It's also going to be a spot where we're going to be able to do, already have done our social emotional, starting their curriculum there. We'll do some other things like we'll do a youth science testing in there. It's also a spot where kids are able to get their iReady minutes, finish their homework, things of that nature. So it seems to be going pretty well. It did mean that some kids lost an elective. So it made kids make some choices in terms of what they wanted. So that's not one of the things I really enjoyed. We did make some other decisions, but in terms of kids that might be in like ELD and like a resource room, and choosing if we're going to continue them and even things like social studies. Does that make sense? Giving them a year off so they have an elective somewhere. So there's some things we've made some decisions there. Andrea, obviously, Miss Erin helped out with that kind of stuff. Obviously, we have some new staff members, and they've done a great job with their group. I did want to kind of hit on our activities and stuff. Our athletic program at the middle school is obviously continued to expand. If you didn't know, last year we had a baseball and softball. We also then added women's wrestling as a separate season. So at this point, we only have 2 fewer sports in the high school, so we don't have boys and girls soccer, the only two we don't offer. So currently, the cool thing about this season we have cross country, football, and volleyball. We have 97 7th and 8th graders out. There's only 2 kids that are participating in cross country, so it's basically half our student body that is in 7th and 8th grade. So it's pretty phenomenal. It's really busy. We've been started practice when school started, so it's 3 weeks. So practice for a week and started games. So we've already had 4 football games. We played 12 volleyball matches, right? We've gone to 2 cross country meets, and so it's pretty fast and furious from here on out. So kind of neat. We did our obviously back to school night in August at the start, and then we also had a 6th grade meeting with the 6th grade parents, kind of a check-in to help the 6th grade parents and students and teachers make contact with each other to kind of to share some of our expectations and our goals for their students, both socially and academically. I think was really important, and kind of what the patterns of communication will be like, and then kind of what the expectations are of new things that they might not experience, like AR books, things of that nature, like checking out Chromebooks from libraries. So covering some of the basics of being a middle school parent, and then also involvement later on, like in sports and things of that nature. Obviously, we have the internet safety, and there's a whole other list of things coming up, but those are kind of our big ones. Obviously, our big ones, obviously, for me, is 8th period is furthering developing our social and emotional curriculum in that. It relates, and Mr. De Leon and Mrs. De Leon are working really hard on that to get that streamlined. We created the spot for it. It's already been pretty advantageous. Like one of the assemblies will be during that time period. It's coming up, so we won't miss instructional time to do that. So I think it's going to work out pretty well. We had all our class meetings during that time frame, so we maximize instructional minutes by doing that. It's worked out pretty well so far, I think. They're fast.
Okay. And you know that when we change the schedule of the calendar, right? It's these changes that make a big difference. I've already heard one parent just say how much they appreciate that 8th period.
That's me. It's amazing.
But you can see just all of these little things that we're being mindful of engaging our parents more. Like, what does that social emotional learning time look like? Those are those priorities we talked about. So thank you, Mr. Cooper and Mrs. Aaron. I appreciate your effort. Mr. Jackman.
That's not fast. It's not. Life is good. I'm having fun. A lot of fun. And I can't always say that. I tend to take life way too serious. But we're off to a great school year. I guess I'd start with by saying that with our new employees, we have a jackpot. I've been in the classroom with each of the teachers and been very, very impressed. Casey Schaefer, Barnes, and Jenna Camerzall with English and with Project English, and our SPED teachers, Aaron and Naomi, just totally solid. Tracy Lieber with our alternate program, extremely pleased. It's been wonderful working with them. In the office, we have Talon and Kevin Vickers and Josh Miranda, and just hit the ground running. It's like, man, they've been great. There's been very little transition involved. Just pick up and to do. So yes, all school after 2 weeks, they moved into their new building, which is the old art modular. So then all renovated inside, it's really nice. The program is very personalized. We have about 10 students, and we pick their classes, and crazy keepers building on their interests and providing them the support that they need. So going well. We have some students that we only saw a few times last year, and they're coming every day. So very hopeful. It is a work in progress. There's pieces that we're figuring out as we go. And just for your information, we really focus on students that were unmotivated, not in juvie and probation officer. The students who were just not progressing in our regular instructional model. And so now have them connected forward. 4-day week. Our staff come back Monday very rested and ready to go, and it's a good thing because we have a lot of curriculum to cover. We've been finding it hard to get through all of the curriculum every second counts, and today in our staff meeting, they're saying, okay, you can't interrupt us for any more assemblies because we only have 4 days, we gotta move forward. So we're making the instruction time as soon as we can. Math adoption. off and running. It's really different. Old school, I always had my textbook, and you copy out the textbook and wrote it out on your paper, and it's all online, on their Chromebooks. And so they see the problem, and they write it on the dry erase board, and we work through it, and they put it in their computer. But it's being well received. I was algebra classes when I was working there. Very impressed. Let's see. High school renovation. It is so wonderful to have reliable air conditioning and to the needed heating. And just thank you. Thank you for investing in our building in our school districts. That's so attendance. Major goal this year is attendance. With 4 days of instruction, we got to make sure that the students are there every single day. As a school, we're at 93% overall. And I break that down. We have 76% of our students who have 90% attendance or above. I use that indicator because that's what the state uses on the state report card. So that's roughly 6% higher than last year. And we've broken it down into the 3 different tiers and saying, okay, this group right here, these are intensive students that we've got to meet with, figure out how to connect both with positive, giving a reason to attend school, and what's the consequences. This is basically our first day. So anyway, that's a quick, very, very quick overview. Our student buddy leadership shared all the upcoming activities. It sounds like a lot, but that's all the time. It's, how's life? It's hectic but good. So, thank you for your support.
And if you can you hear, right? I mean, kind of the same goals, the attendance, the social emotional, like teaching every second of every day and maximizing it, because we know the commitment from our community with these 4 days. And so, Mr. Jackson, thank you, Mr. Vickers, thank you as well. And also, so actually, Ms. Glenn, sorry, she put out this is a district newsletter for staff that we're going to see come out once a month. We're also going to do one for the district or for the community, correct? And you can see that we want to inform our staff, and there's more than just kind of upcoming events, but there's social emotional things. There's just a lot on there. We just want to connect with our staff as well. And I got to tell you, Mr. Murray and Mrs. White that have been going around the building, seeing that staff is happier, we're taking care of it. So I appreciate your guys' efforts as well. So thank you. Last one. So it was actually I want to shout out to Stephen Mitchell. He's a reporter from Out Here Enterprise. He actually came in today and met him, and it was a great meeting with him. I said, hey, help me move this desk. It was like a 1,000-pound desk. I don't know what Crystal thought, but I just want to give him a shout out coming in and connecting with us and being willing to roll up his sleeves and help us out. And so I really want to give a shout out to Stephen Mitchell on that and connecting with him. So, but in conclusion, I just want to thank you guys as well as a board and your commitment. And so thank you. That is my report.
Thank you. Crystal?
It was a 1,000-pound desk.
It seriously was.
And Ryan put it to work. It was awesome because it's in my office now. We have to put it together now. So, I want to start off not talking about financials, but just talking about Mrs. Esplin, because I don't know if everyone else knows, but she was my 5th grade teacher, and I'm not going to say how long ago that was. But I think it's really awesome that she got recognized. So congratulations, you deserved it. You deserve it now, and you deserved it when I was in 5th grade.
Susie Ramos was my mentor teacher. That's where it all came
That was just kind of cool.
We were both very young.
Tonight, though, I have financials for the month of August. It's one of our shortest months in the fiscal year. You notice your packet's pretty small. Really, nothing major to talk about. We received our state school fund payment for the month, a little bit of property taxes, and then our payroll. A small payroll. That's because our teachers, we get paid this month. Our IAs are back. So a very small payroll. So our revenue coming in was a little over 1.3, and expenditures going out were just a little over $500,000. So just building that balance to carry us through to June, because we don't receive our state school fund the month of June. I throw a lot of reports at you guys, just showing our LGIP account and the breakdown of the taxes we've received and the interest we get off that money. anyone ever has questions, let me know. I'm just gonna roll through it. Our balance of our middle school bond, we have reached a little over $45,000. Our next debt service payment is in December, and so all that money in that account just goes to pay off our middle school. After that, if you flip to our early Head Start operating statement, of course, a reminder, our biggest expense in that fund is our payroll. And our consumables, Cindy's been working really, really hard. She's applied for some additional grants that we've received. I don't have that for you this month, but I will be asking for a budget resolution for your approval to change their budget as we're receiving some additional funds for her to spend. So she ended the month a little over $22,000. And then if you flip to the next page, that's our food service operating statement. So August is a tough month for food service. We only had 8 days of service, 8 days of school. And of course we receive our revenue off of the meals we serve. Their revenue to date coming in a little over $109,000, expenditures going out $79,000. So their ending fund balance for the month was $29,000. After that is approval of the bills. This is everything that we spent from August 9th to September 6th when I ran the report. And if anything sticks out in that, please let me know. Happy to answer questions. And then we flip to our tiny payroll report, which I believe is only 3 pages for the month. Shows all the payroll that we paid out for the month of August. And then finally, the very last page is our high school construction project summary. We are almost very close to wrapping it up. I think we're just a little over $500,000 away from getting it paid all off and being done. And that's what I have for you guys today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, if you guys want to take a second and look over the consent agenda. And someone wants to make a motion to accept it.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, motion is carried. On our old business, we have some budget committee vacancies. There are 3 positions open. We've had 2 people apply, so we need to either extend it or just go with the 2 we have. Is that
We have 3.
Yeah, there's 3.
Did we get an extra?
Yeah.
So we need to decide if we want to accept those 3 or.
Have they all been approved from the county?
Megan, do you know that?
No, I do not.
If they've been
On that
approved.
last one.
From the
By the county, they have to be registered voters and in their
In our district.
district.
I just don't know about the last.
A few rules.
The address isn't even complete.
What did you say?
His address isn't even complete.
Yeah, it says 919 Redwood Court. Is that
What's that?
919 Redwood Court? Is that a mis address? Or?
It's the new.
It's the new subdivision.
Oh, okay.
For the court. Yeah. Well, I think we have to get approval from the county first.
So do we need to get approval from the county and then we can vote on it at our next meeting? Is that okay, Megan? No, let us know if we'll meet the requirements.
Yes.
Or do we want to extend it or see if anyone else is interested or?
I suppose if we have to wait till next meeting to approve it, what's hurt to invite further applications?
I agree. Do we need to make a motion to do
To extend
it? Okay, somebody want to make a motion to extend it to the next business meeting?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? So we will extend it until the next meeting in October, and then upon approval, we will vote to accept it. Okay.
So I guess also, if we do have other subsidies, then they can use that.
Yeah.
So we have all the options.
I think with the holiday, it was just hard.
Sure, oh yeah. And the school year just started, right?
It's been crazy.
So our next meeting will be what, October 9th?
That's good part about using that big calendar now. We can look at it and say it's the 9th. There we go. Yeah.
Okay, there was no big new business. No board report. Is there anything else for the good of the order?